Today, are we going to have fun today? Oh, yes, yes, yes. Today's going to be a big, massive word problem day, okay? There is nothing better than word problems in algebra, okay? Absolutely nothing better. What is the whole purpose? As I've mentioned before a couple of different times, what is the whole purpose of learning mathematics if you're not going to solve a problem? I mean, there is no purpose whatsoever. That is why mathematics is called the queen of the sciences. Chemistry, biology, physics, the queen of the sciences, because mathematics is in each of those three areas and helps you solve problems, okay? Now, what I want to do, I've got 8 or 9 of these problems, and your homework will have very similar problems. I'm going to show you how to set these up and get your equation. The equations, we've already talked about solving equations. You guys are pretty decent at solving equations, so I don't think we have any issues with that. I am not going to be solving the equations. You are to set them up on your homework and also solve the equation, okay? So make sure you do. So let's go down through. We're going to set up each one of these and talk about them and hopefully give you some ideas as to how you can do these problems. My first comment is that you should always, always, always see if you can do it mentally. See if you can just think about it and say, wait a second, I know how to do that. I always get really aggravated, and it's my pet peeve, when math teachers tell students, you have to do the problem in a certain way. You have to do it. You have to show a huge amount of equations. If you can do it mentally, do it mentally. So let's talk about this. After a train accident, it was noted that ticket sales established over 135 people on the train. All seats were filled on all 6 cars. One of the train cars was small and only seated 20. How many were on each of the other cars? Now, if this is a perfect problem to do in your head, well, at least think about mentally. There's 6 train cars. One of them is little. The other 5 are bigger. So if there's 135 people and there's 20 on the little guy, what's left for the other 5 cars? Couldn't you take 20 off of 135 and get 115? So if there's 20 on the little car, there's 115 on the remaining 5 cars. And how many are in each car? 115 times and divided by 5, which is 23. Okay? If you really want to do it with an equation, you can. You can say, hey, I've got one small car that has 20. I have 5 cars. And how many are on each of the 5? I don't know. X. This then would have to equal the 135 for total number of people. Okay? All right, number 2. These problems are much, much easier to do with equations. 5 consecutive numbers. Consecutive means coming one right after the other. Like Monday and Tuesday are consecutive days of the week, right? Okay? 6 and 7 are consecutive numbers. You want 5 consecutive numbers that are going to add, sum means to add, up to 575. Okay? 5 consecutive numbers. Well, if X is the first number, what's the very next number? Isn't it X plus 1, right? And then X plus 2 is the next one. X plus 3, how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. I want 5 consecutive numbers, adds up to 575. That's easy to solve, okay? Super easy to solve. You can now collect your x's, 5 x's, collect your numbers, 10 equals 575, solve for x, and then you can get the remaining 4 numbers. Number 3, 3 consecutive evens. Whoa. If x is an even number, what is the next even number? Like if x is 22, how do you get to the next even number? You got to skip the next one because it's odd. They go odd, even, odd, even, odd, even, right? So you got to skip the odds. So if x is an even number, the next even number is x plus 2. And then the even number after that, you got to skip x plus 3. X plus 4 would be the next even. Now, let's do what it says. 3 times the largest. Which one is biggest? 3 times that one is the same as, equals 4 times the middle one. What's the middle one? X plus 2, right? And that is a problem that's easy to solve. Take the 3 in, take the 4 in. You solved many like that just a couple days ago. All right, number 4. Sarah sold 7 boxes of Girl Scout cookies on Monday. On Tuesday, someone stole half of what she had left. So she now has 24. Now think about that. This is a great problem to do mentally. She sold 7 boxes of cookies on Monday. On Tuesday, somebody stole half of her cookies. And she has 24 left. Well, if somebody stole half and it's down to 24, wouldn't she have had to have had 48 before any were stolen, right? 48. And she sold 7 on Monday, so that would have been 7 more plus 48, right? Great, great problem to do mentally, okay? All right. All right, let's talk about cell phone plan. Cell phone plan. Cell phone plan costs a base rate of $40. You get $45. You get 200 free minutes. If you go over 200 minutes, you must still pay the 45, but you also pay 10 cents per minute. Okay? 1 month, he has a bill of $78.10. How many total minutes did he use that month? This one again is a great problem to do mentally. If he has a bill of $78.10, he must have gone over the 200. Yeah? Because if he wouldn't go over 200, it's just 45. Oh, there's my old friend back again. Get rid of that pop-up. All right. So he's going to still have to pay the 45, so take 45 off of that. And what do we get? 33.10. 45 is $33.10. He's got to pay 10 cents per every minute. So if you're at $33.10, how many 10 cents are there in 33.10, right? So take 33.10 and divide by 10. That would be an easy way, 10 cents. That would be an easy way to figure out how many extra minutes. Now those would be the extras. Then you'd have to add it on to 200. Let's work that out. 33.10 divided by 10 cents should be 331, I think. Yeah, 331 extra minutes beside the additional 200. So it should be a total of 531. Okay, now if you want to work it out with equations, you can say, we know you're going to pay $45 plus you're going to pay 10 cents per minute for all of your minutes past 200. How many total minutes did he have? We don't know. So if you let T be the total minutes, you would subtract 200 to get the extra minutes, and then multiply by 10 cents will be the extra he owes, which should be $78.10. Okay? And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to divide by You're going to subtract 45, which is what we did first, and get 3310. You can divide by 10 cents and add the 200 on. You're going to get the same answer of 531. All right. Grandpa Jones had 200 gold coins he wanted to divide among his 7 grandkids. He first gives the mailman 4 coins. How many would each kid get? A great problem, again, to do mentally. 200 coins, he first gives the mailman 4. He's now down to 196, and then divide by 7. Easy. Consecutive numbers, 3 of them. X plus 1, X plus 2. One right after the other. It says such that the sum of the first one and the last one, the sum of the first one and the last one would be 2x plus 2. There's 2 x's, see them? 2x plus 2 is, see it? Is 28 more than the middle one. X plus 1, and that is really, really easy to solve. Once you find x, you got to add 1 and add 2 to find your other numbers, or your other consecutive numbers. All right, we've got 2 more to go. I think, hopefully you're seeing that a lot of these problems you'll be able to do mentally. If not, you can easily set up equations. All right, Shanika gets time and a half overtime if she works over 40 hours per week. Her regular pay is $13.50 per hour. How many hours of overtime did she work if she earned a total of that? Now, let's first talk about time and a half overtime. She gets paid $13.50 an hour. If she works overtime, she gets time and a half. She gets the $13.50 plus half of the $13.50. Half of $13.50 should be about $6.75, I think. Yeah, $6.75 plus the $13.50. She's going to get paid $20 1/4 for overtime hours. Okay, once she gets over 40. Here's her total, $681.75. So to get overtime, she must have worked 40 at $13.50 plus how many overtime hours? I don't know. So plus X overtime hours at 2025. Are you with me? Has to equal, sorry, couldn't squeeze it in there, her total earnings. Here's her regular pay for the 40, X overtime times 2025. Easy problem to solve. And there's my old friend, the pop-up again. I've got eliminate pop-ups, but it doesn't do it. All right. How about number 9? Looks like one we ought to be able to do mentally. So let's try it. Jack sold a quarter of his baseball cards, then went out and bought 24 more. He now has 144. Let's first do it with an equation. How many did he start with? I don't know, but he sold a quarter of them. So if he sold a quarter, wouldn't he have 3/4 left? So if X is how much he started with, he's going to have 3/4 of those left after selling a quarter. He buys 24 more. 24, you dummy. 4. And this will be, he now has 144. Okay, there's an easy problem to solve. Equations. But can we do it in our head? He sells a quarter of his baseball cards, went out and bought 24 more. He now has 144. Well, if he bought 24 more, take 24 off of that. Isn't that down to 120? So when he sold a fourth, he would have 120 left. Okay? If you sell a fourth, he's going to have 120 left. What you could do is say if X is the amount he started with, minus 1/4 X, what he sold, there'll be 120 left. And isn't 1X minus 1/4, isn't that still 3/4, right? So either way, it's easy to solve, okay? All right, I tried to give you some examples, consecutive number problems and problems like that, in which if you need to set up equations, it shouldn't be that tough to do, okay? Your homework will look like this. It's going to be exactly the same kind of problems, changing to equations or working them out mentally, whichever way you want to do it. But show me your work on this assignment. Make sure I see